changing my theory of happiness. Until recently, I have thought happiness meant buying anything I want and having plenty of stuff. But then my brother showed me some pictures from his trip to Tanzania. I have never thought about true happiness. But the pictures I saw made me think of what true happiness is. After seeing the pictures, my heart could not be filled with happiness, and even worse, it turned cloudy even after buying new clothes. And I started to think, my happiness is too tiny. I can buy nice clothes, but am I really happy? My brother visited Tanzania for his medical study. After he came back to Japan, he asked me with a serious face, "What is happiness?" Then he showed me several pictures where children's eyes were shining. For example, in one picture, a medical student, Damien, studied under outdoor light at night without a pencil or paper. But Damien's eyes were full of hope. According to the Embassy of Japan in Tanzania, malaria has caused 2.5 million orphans. I was shocked by this, and it made me wonder why the eyes of Tanzania children were so bright, though they lack daily essentials. Although their lives seem ones of poverty, they live everyday life with a smile. I realized their hearts were rich because of their hope and appreciation for life. In contrast, I am a girl who lives in a rich country. My life is full of so many things, but I am missing one important thing in spite of my fortunate surroundings. As a result, I don't feel happy about my life, and worse yet, I complain about it. Mother Teresa has cautioned us against our way of thinking. When she went to India for the first time, she was shocked to see many Indians living on the streets. Mother Teresa said, "If we could only see all this, we would stop grumbling about our own misfortune and offer thanks to God for blessing us with such abundance." I think people in developed countries, including Japanese, rarely feel satisfied with and appreciate their blessed environment. When my brother entered Tanzania with his friends, their luggage was missing. But they realized that although the things seemed necessary in Japan, they lived happily without them in Tanzania. This clearly demonstrated what Mother Teresa said, that we have so much more than we need. I realized happiness might sometimes come from objects, but true happiness comes from our hearts. What is the meaning of coming from our hearts? It means I can always feel my parents' generous love. I have friends to help me when I'm in trouble. I have 3 influential teachers in my life who have taught me and lead me up to now. I have had my valuable experiences and have a blessed environment. I want to appreciate everything in my life. And the most important thing is how much I can appreciate the full blessing of my environment. Thanks to the bright eyes of Tanzania children, I can feel that my heart is finally filled with happiness and warmth. They taught me that happiness doesn't come from affluence. Happiness is like a wind. I can't see it, but I can always feel it. Now I have found my true happiness. Thank you very much.
What is normal? What does it mean to be normal? What happens if you are thinking it's not normal for other people? How would you feel if people thought of you as strange, different, or abnormal? You might begin to hate yourself, lose confidence in yourself. People with gender identity disorder, also called GID, suffer from low self-esteem or low self-image. They feel alone. This is repeated daily with each person they meet, so it can be unbearable. GID is when one's biological sex doesn't match one's self-identity. A boy thinks of himself as female, even though his body looks like any normal boy. Or a girl feels deep down inside she's really a boy. Their heart doesn't match their body. I will explain their suffering because it is difficult to understand GID. The problems of gender identity disorder even affects language. There is a problem of how to use the first person. In Japanese, women generally use watashi. Men generally use boku or ore. However, people with GID avoid using the first person in conversation. For example, a person outside looks like a woman, but her heart is of a man. If she called herself boku or ore, people will think that she is strange. So they can't use the first person in conversation because their secret comes out as abnormal. Well then, why can't they come out? They are afraid people will get to know the truth because they fear rejection. Unfortunately, to defend the secret, they lie to family, friends, and themselves again and again. In other words, people with GID shut off their mind because they don't have a chance to come out. Why doesn't the situation improve in spite of a lot of people suffering? One reason that sex is seen as immoral or impudent thing, so it is not seriously discussed. Why not talk about sexuality with family or friends? If you feel it is shameful or dirty to talk about sexuality, this is evidence that you don't accept yourself. Because thinking about sexuality is the same as thinking about our hearts. So, is there a solution to this problem? Only sure way is to perform sex reassignment surgery. However, in Japan, the hospital that can do this operation are few. It takes long time to complete this procedure, and the operation is very expensive because insurance cannot be applied. In Japan, there are about 3,000 men who want to become a woman, and about 4,000 women who hope to become a man. In total, about 7,000 Japanese are suffering every day. One reason that people with gender identity disorder suffer is because people believe the majority is right, so GID is considered abnormal. People tend to think others who are a little different are strange. However, we are all different, so it is very difficult to define what normal means on the earth, because so many cultures exist in this world. So, if we realize the importance of differences, we can live together peacefully. We should change our own thoughts of what is normal and help people with gender identity disorder, even affects that down add to their pain. Thank you.
The Second prize goes to Kimiko Takahashi. And the first prize goes to Momoka Nakamura.